Good evening, I'm Nicolle Neulist.
And I'm Paul Mazur.
And we are here live from this park.
We're here live, yes, we're here live in the North Park area. We apologize as we've got a receptive audience of crickets
Yeah.
to help us and help you with the Travers Stakes, our feature race here at Ponderings.
Hopefully the crickets won't be betting too much and you'll still get a price on the horse you like, because it's a heck of a race. 14 horses, and you can make a case for at least half the field, possibly more.
Agreed. Agreed. Travis Stone is the new morning line maker for Saratoga, and he has a heck of a job, and this will be a heck of a test of his morning line abilities.
I don't envy him one bit. I don't envy anyone trying to predict the bettors one bit, which means kind of don't envy ourselves, because we have to figure out who to bet, because it's tough. It's like splitting hairs, which makes it all the more important to find that value.
But one thing before we get into this preview of the Travers, I want to get off my chest. Can we please stop calling this the Midsummer Derby? We're here. Some of the trees here have little bits of orange specks. The local university just started classes today. Some suburban schools have either started classes today or they're already in school. The Chicago Public School starts in 10 days. It's not the middle of summer. Please, can we not call the Travers the Midsummer Derby? Just call it the Travers. It's a good race. It's a genuine grade one, but it's not a Midsummer Derby by any stretch of the imagination. And
it's the 2/3 of the way through the calendar Summer Derby.
Just call it the Travers.
Fine.
It is a quality enough race that can stand on its own, like the Haskell.
Exactly. So, enough banter, enough crickets for the moment anyway. What about Arrogate?
Yeah, we're gonna go through this field. We're gonna go through this field top down, rail out, but we'll do it quick. But we'll do it quickly with Arrogate. Mike Smith to ride for Bob Baffert. He's been beating up in short fields at Del Mar, but I got a lot of pedigree questions going 10 furlongs. And while Bejarano jumps off, nothing wrong with Mike Smith in the mic.
Yeah, I'm not keen on Arrogate. He's here. He's been winning at odds on over at Santa Anita and Del Mar. Mike Smith is perfectly capable, but I don't love his pedigree for 10, and I think he's going to be too close to a hot pace. Toss him.
Agreed. I'm not keen on him. Nor am I keen on Baffert, Shipping, and Playmate. And that's number 2, American Freedom. Rafael Bejarano aboard for Mr. and Mrs. West. Second in the Haskell, but this could be a tougher spot.
Exactly. I mean, he's got some game on the lead, but even with going blinkers off, I don't think he's proven not on the lead, and I think he's going to end up too close to a hot pace. I'm tossing him too.
He's game, and he is game though, as seen from his work on the Haskell, because of the fact he was up there with Nyquist contesting the pace, because of his game win in the Sir Barton. But there are others I'm going to like better than American Freedom here in the Travers.
American Freedom is probably among the better of my toss bin, but he's still in my toss bin. Number 3, My Man Sam. I think My Man Sam is intriguing here. He comes in second off the way. He, went to the Kentucky Derby, didn't do too well, was 11th, so kind of midfield there. Came back in an allowance at Saratoga, finished second against Older, which I like. Granted, these are tougher, classier horses, but that's still never a bad thing to see. Ran well over the Saratoga course, so I think he'll handle the track fine. And because I do think there's going to be quite a bit of speed, I think his off-pace running style is going to be suited. So I'll give My Man Sam, the Chad Brown C, a punter's chance at huge odds.
My Man Sam's in my toss spin. Yes, he was second against Elders last time in an A other than at Saratoga. The horse he lost to was Tail of Verve, who had been in the never won allowance since the Preakness of 2015. Tail of Verve finally found a bad enough field. My Man Sam just happened to be on the same level as that. Yes, he was the bluegrass runner-up. Yes, he's going to get his pace set up, but while he's going to be odds at the Chad Brown C, I'm not keen on a trap shot going 10 panels.
Unlike Paul, I think there's enough upside to move him up second off the lay and give him a fighting chance. On to number 4, Governor Malibu. I've been keen on Governor Malibu all spring, all summer. He was proven for a while at 1 1/8 miles, stretched out really nicely to 1.5 miles in the Belmont, and I loved the fact that even though he got stopped up down the stretch, he kept on going. He was so full of run near the end of that race. Then last out, he ran a good second in the Jim Dandy. He came from off the pace, and of course he had nothing to chase because Laubon absolutely walked the dog. Laubon's not going to be walking the dog here thanks to American Freedom and possibly a few others. Governor Malibu's been consistent. Governor Malibu's run well at Saratoga. Governor Malibu can come off the pace, and I really like Governor Malibu.
I can see the argument for Governor Malibu because he's going to get more pace to attack than what was present in the Jim Dandy. But to me, Governor Malibu is more of a one-pace type. Yes, he could rally if they go. Yes, he could rally if they go quick enough. Yes, we've got Rosario aboard for Clermont. Yes, we've got Rosario aboard for Clermont. That's quality connections that in the last 2 months have hit the board half the time. But maybe he's a grade 2, maybe he's a grade 2, grade 3 type. The last time he won was a pretty soft list. The last time he actually won was against State Bread Company way back in the spring.
Yeah, it sounds like we'll agree to disagree on Governor Malibu. As usual, I seem to be a little more keen on that guy than you are.
Agreed, but let's see what we've got for number 5, Forever de Oro.
Speaking of Dallas Stewarts.
Oh, yes. Usually, beware, danger signs whenever Dallas Stewart's got a horse at odds, because he likes to pop it with big long shots. Think Tom's ready in the Woody Stevens. Forever de Oro has the familiar Dallas Stewart connections. Charles Fiske owning, Dallas Stewart training. Third in the Curlin, which functions as one of the 2 local preps here. The 10 furlong distance isn't going to be so bad. I think he can kind of toss the Belmont. Maybe it was too much too soon. He's going to be odds, and if you like him at 30, plus to 1, you can take a flutter on him. But he is like other Dallas Stewart horses. Think Taylor Verve, stuck in N1X land.
There's not a whole lot I can add about Forever de Oro. He does fit the profile of a Dallas Stewart long shot, closer who's going to go off at 30 to 1, 35 to 1. I really do think Travis Stone hit the odds right between the eyes on this one. I don't love him, but I could see using him in exactas, trifectas, superfectas if you're doing an intra-race wager on the Travers. Going on to number 6, Anaximandros. Here, an early live look at the betting windows for Anaximandros. Crickets.
Absolutely. Being fourth in the West Virginia Derby, and having run speed figures that are 5 to 10 points below the top contenders is a recipe for a bad day. I swear this horse is trained by Gennady Dorchenko.
Too slow, outclassed, toss.
Agreed.
Now, to the antithesis of Anaximandros, we get the favorite, number 7, Exaggerator.
It's hashtag Curlin babies and also hashtag defensive use. Yes, the DeSormo brothers look like geniuses when they called an 11th hour audible, skipped the Jim Dandy, and went to the Haskell on a sloppy track. Exaggerator loves a wet track. Won the Haskell, won the Preakness, won the Santa Anita Derby, won the Delta Jackpot, and remember, even though that Kentucky Derby was on a fast track, that was not long after a pop-up thunderstorm. That same pop-up thunderstorm, and a salute to Mike Watchmaker for pointing this out, that spooked Grantito, the same Grantito who scratched out of the Woodford Reserve about 2 hours before the Derby. He loves a sloppy track. He loves when someone does the dirty work for the pace. He's gonna get the pace help. He might not get his moisture.
I agree. He definitely gets the pace set up here. It sets up beautifully for him. No questions about that. No questions about the distance. And even though, is he going to be the favorite? Yeah, probably. But is he going to be slightly better odds with a dry track than he would be on the wet? Yeah, there's a lot of people who have Exaggerator chalked up to be a wet track horse. He's good enough, he's classy enough, he's long-winded enough, he gets the setup. I think Exaggerator will be fine on the dry, and am I going to bet him to win? No. But would I make sure to have him covered in any multi-races? Yes, absolutely. The epitome of a defensive use.
Nothing I can add to that, but Saratoga is known for the pop-up thunderstorm. And if it rains at Saratoga, bet Exaggerator, and just for good measure, bet Exaggerator.
So you had one thing to add to that.
Alrighty,
let's get to your boy Destin.
Let's get to Destin, who is my click to pick for this year's Travers. Like Nicolle with Governor Malibu, I'm going to dance with the horse that brought me here, and that's Destin. He was short in the Kentucky Derby, but he proved something that I felt that I've seen from him since his preps in Louisiana and in Tampa. He's a grinding type. He ran evenly when Lauvon throughout the anchor in the Jim Dandy. He ran evenly in a very credible race in the Belmont Stakes. Short, toss out that Derby because he was short. There's not much to find in fault in my case with Destin.
Destin is one of those who I didn't land on him, but it's like splitting hairs, and Destin's one who certainly has a chance here. I can't say Paul's wrong. Destin's definitely, he's long enough winded for this, he's consistent enough for this, and there are just others I like better, but I don't think Paul's off base with Destin.
I don't think you're going to get the 10-1 morning line that Travis Stone quoted, but at 7 or 8, he's certainly worth some wagering. Javier Castellano to ride for Todd Fletcher. I think the Travers is a case of he who wheezes the least wheezes the best, and he certainly didn't wheeze in the Belmont or the Jim Dandy. I think the Travers is when he gets his great of glory.
Speaking of wheezing, we've got a twirling candy half the stone-tastic named Gift Box.
There's a lot of no passing in that pedigree. Toss.
Yeah, I'm not even sure he gets 10 furlongs with a tow truck. Toss. Now, speaking of horses who have a chance to get 10 furlongs, let's go to the third Chad Brown horse we've talked about today. Hashtag Curlin Babies, Connect.
Connect is going to be the lowest odds of the Chad Brown horses. The lowest will be Connect. The one in the middle is going to be Gift Box, who's probably going to be in the teens. Please don't get a public service announcement from Picks and Ponderings. Don't bet Gift Box. And Connect. And Nicolle's long shot, my man Sam, as the Chad Brown C. The A is Connect. Looking at how the internal splits of the Curlin versus the Jim Dandy were, they were more moderate and more even paced in the Connect, whereas Lauban just threw out the anchor. It was more of an even pace.
In the Curlin, not the Connect. In the Connect Sire Stakes.
When Connect won the stakes, when Connect won the Curlin Stakes and did his sire proud. Thank you for the correction. It was a more even pace affair as opposed to the slow early fast intermediate nature of the Jim Dandy. He also doesn't need the lead. Look at how he won his N1X2 back. He doesn't need the lead, but if he gets it, he can kind of do what Destin did, and that's kind of run, 24-3, 49 splits, and just kind of wear out the rest of the field. He makes sense. His odds aren't going to be great because it's Chad Brown, who right now is hotter than Chicago in the summer with humidity. You've got John Velazquez riding quality. You've got quality humans. You're not gonna get much odds, but Connect is logical.
I agree. Connect is one of those who I'm shopping for a price here hardcore just because there are so many horses who make sense to me here. Did I land on Connect? No. Could Connect win this and not surprise me? Yeah. So number 11, Mahesto. I mean, there are things I see. He's second off the lay. He was 6th beaten 10 in the Curlin. Didn't show a whole lot there, but could take a step forward second off the lay, could show a little bit more early with blinkers going on. I'm not super worried about him getting the 1.25 miles because he's by tis now and have to overanalyze. You could at least get 2 turns. He's okay. I don't love him on top. I think this is a little too much too soon for Mahesto, but he's not an Aximandros.
I agree he has a better chance, but the Super Derby coming up in 2 weeks will hit this horse right between the bridle. I think he's a B Derby type. Yes, he has an excuse to move up based on the fact he was in the parking lot for most of the race in Connects Curlin. But
Oh no, like your face is dark.
Oh, sorry.
I'm giving you a bit of a light.
Oh, okay. I thought you were sharing notes. I didn't realize it was darkness. But crux of the matter is while Mahesto has the chance to move up for Grupo 7 stable, the Super Derby, not the Travers, is the ideal horse for him. He's in too deep, although he has a chance to move up off a pretty subpar Curlin.
On the other hand, speaking of horses who are a little more class tested than Mahesto, we get to number 12, Creator, the winner of the Belmont. He got a little bit of a break after the Belmont, and I think Paul and I disagree a little bit about the Jim Dandy. I think he laid an egg there. I know that the pace didn't suit him. He's a closer, and he got a field of 6, and Laoban just walking, strolling at his slow southern pace, which he's not going to get here. This race is going to set up better for him. He does get Arad Ortiz, who, Arad and Saratoga go together like peanut butter and jelly. But, Creator is one of those, yeah, I can make a case for him, but there are others I like better.
I'm using Creator 15 to 1 morning line odds, and Arad Ortiz for Steve Asmussen. He's going to be a horse I'm going to use at higher odds because people are going to look at that Jim Dandy as a clunker. I look at the fact that he didn't get what he needs. Creator is a horse with limitations. He needs a clean trip and he needs pacemakers. He is kind of a bit of a professional clunk up garbage collector type. But he is going to get the chance to swing wide here. Remember he won that Belmont from post 13 now he's going to get to draw post 12 on the Travers. So the outside post is not an issue. He's proven that when he gets his trip and when he gets his pace set up, it makes sense. See the Arkansas Derby. See when he broke his maiden by 7 at Oaklawn. See the Belmont Stakes. And when he doesn't get the clean trip, things don't go well. Think the Kentucky Derby. Or when there's no one up front to set up the pace. Think the Jim Dandy. No one was setting up that pace in the Jim Dandy. He gets his pace set up this time, and at double-digit morning line odds, Creator is a use for me.
Then we get to number 13, Laoban. Paul talked about Creator getting the pace setup that he likes here in the Travers. You know who's not getting the pace setup that he likes? Laoban. It's the whole wedding versus funeral thing.
Right. Horse racing cliche number 36. If you didn't go to the wedding, don't go to the funeral. If you weren't there for him at 27-1 in the Jim Dandy, don't get on board at half the morning line odds with a much worse pace scenario. No amount of Eric Eo voodoo dolls can save him this time.
No. Too much gas.
Too much gas indeed.
And finally, we get to the outside horse, the number 14, Gunrunner. And among the speedier type horses, Gunrunner's really the only one I want any part of. And part of that is because he can be a little more tactical, as he showed in those Louisiana preps. And even if he does end up close to the pace, going 1.25 miles, he was that in the Kentucky Derby. He was so close to that fiery pace that Dancing Candy was setting, and yet he kept on going. He tried, he hit the front for a while, and was only passed by Nyquist and Exaggerator. So what does that tell us about Gunrunner? He can get 1.25 miles, he can be game if he's too close to a fast pace, and some of those backlines tell us that he doesn't need it. I'm willing to throw the Haskell out because he was a little too far off a pace in a short field, and it was sloppy. I don't think Gunrunner's is most effective in the slop.
Maybe it was the slop that led to Gunrunner's fifth in the Haskell Stakes, or maybe it was the fact that Philanteru had a bit of a brain fart on that day in Jersey. This is a race that's sort of an acid. This race to me is a bit of a litmus test for Gunrunner. Is Gunrunner the same horse who ran a corker of a race in the Kentucky Derby? I agree with Nicolle. That was a corker of a race in the Kentucky Derby. Who was also on top of his form when he won the Louisiana Derby on a dead rail, when he ran an admirable third in the Kentucky Derby, and when he whistled in the Matt Winn. Is he the same horse as he was in the spring, or has he fallen off Or option 3, was it just a clunker? Whether it be a bad Philanteru ride, whether it be the fact he doesn't like the slop. You get 10-1 to ask it. Gunrunner functions as sort of my you can't take them all horse. I like him, but I can't take them all.
Whereas he's the odds to really get a long look at from me. I agree with Paul that it's an acid test, and at 10-1, I think that's plenty good odds to find out.
If he drifts up in the odds, he's one like a bunch of others that make sense in this field.
So now that we've gone horse by horse, let's kind of tie things up here with our top 3 and our long shot. Paul?
Absolutely. I'm going with the strategy in the Travers of you dance with the horse that brought you to the ball. And I'm going with number 8, and that's Destined. Looking at the fact that his ability to grind on in the Belmont Stakes, grind on in the Jim Dandy. American breeding for 10 furlongs is like trying to find the best fat kid for dodgeball class. It's really, no one's really cut out for it. And as such, I'm not keen. And as such, I think Destin's had the best breeding for 10 furlongs. And his prior 10 furlong race isn't representative because Fletcher flubbed the ball on the training. My second and third choices are the Curlin babies. I like a Curlin baby second who has a win over a sloppy track in the springtime. Not Exaggerator, but Connect, who was the last stop winner of the Curlin, and Exaggerator for me in third. My long shot is going to be number 12, Creator. Coming from that, he's going to be swinging wide, coming from that outside post, and he's going to get the pace setup that he did not get last time in the Jim Dandy.
And as for me, I'm like Paul, going with the horse who took me here. I kind of sound like a broken record, but I still think Governor Malibu has a lot going for him. I think he gets the setup that he needs. I like his form over Saratoga, and I have no qualms about him getting 10 panels. So it's Governor Malibu for me. Second, I've got Gunrunner, thinking he can bounce back from that sloppy Haskell. Third, I've got Exaggerator. No questions about the distance, and the best class-proven horse in this field. And as for my long shot, I'm going with that Chad Brown C, my man Sam, to come rolling late. So 4, 14, 7, long shot 3.
For me, I'm going to be going 8, 10, 7. The long shot will be 12.
Thank you for watching, and good luck in the Travers.